Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to jump straight in and say it before anyone else does. Yes, I've looked better. I have no skincare on my face. All I've done is cleansed today. I've just got out of the shower, chucked my hair up in a messy bun. My hair, probably like majority of everyone's at the minute, has been a bit neglected. And hopefully by the end of this video it will look a whole lot better, as long as this little one doesn't keep trying to get in everything. So as you can probably tell from the title, I'm going to colour my own hair. Now I know what you're all thinking, you're a hairdresser, you know what you're doing. Yes, I do, but I never colour my own hair. Yes, I've done my roots, and yes, I've done a toner. I tone my hair quite often actually, like myself, because that is one of the easiest for me to do. Roots, not quite as easy because I've got blonde on the ends, but I've done my roots. I've done full head colours in the past when I've been bright red and things like that. But today the plan is to use some foil and put some highlights in my hair, because as you can see, all of this, if you couldn't see my bun right now, I look like a brunette, which yes, I have a root stretch on my hair, but if I take my hair out of this donut, as you can see, the majority of me is blonde. So I'm going to give it a quick brush, because if I'm being honest, I haven't done it since yesterday, but I think the majority of people can say that at the minute. So giving it a quick brush. Now the reason that I am honestly doing this and not waiting for my sister's a hairdresser as well, is because now I washed my hair not yesterday, the night before, and honestly my hair, I've got an oily scalp anyway, but if I haven't got colour on my hair or my roots honestly look like I haven't washed my hair in about a week, or I've just dipped my head in a chip fryer. My hair gets very greasy and very oily very quickly. Same with my skin, like my skin is just oily, so like my hair, my scalp, I mean you can see how flat that goes, and I've got a lot of hair. So hair is brushed all the way through. Now what I'm actually due for, and what my sister would normally do on me, is the process I have is a full head of highlights, not balayage, just a full head of standard highlights, and then I have that about every 6 months, and the last time I had that was probably November time, before Christmas. So as you can see, there is a lot of regrowth. Let me get my phone, it's a little easier if we've got a bit more of a spotlight. So as you can see, we sort of start to gradually change to here, and even the ends are looking a bit sad at the minute. Everything just needs a good refresh. Luna, hello. And I don't want to be this colour on the top. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, I have already found my parting. I wear pretty much just slightly off centre. No, it's not straight, but that's how my hair falls. So the easiest way, and the way that I do it at work when I do foils, is I find the client's natural parting, the parting that they wear it in majority of the time, and I work from there. I think you are going to have to go downstairs. Yes. Okay, so before I get rid of the cat, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to section half of my hair away. Can we stop trying to eat my hair? She's got a thing for my hair. Right, I'm going to section half away. And now I'm just going to pause and get rid of the cat. Okay, so as I said, I've sectioned this half out the way for now. So what my plan is today is to give myself a temporary brightening, which, no, lightening is not temporary. Lightening is bleach. Especially for me, I've got pre-coloured hair, and I've got a lot of colour on my hair, but I want to make myself appear a lot brighter. So the plan is, like I said, I never highlight my own hair, but the plan is to put some foils under here so that when I put my hair up I look lighter. I'm gonna do a couple on the parting diagonally, and the thing with diagonally, it's you don't end up with any harsh lines, and like I said, I do a root stretch anyway, but it looks more natural. And then I'm just going to do some around the fringe and around the ear section around here, so that, I mean, as you can see there, that is practically all dark, so when I pull my hair up it looks lighter, and I'm going to do that the same on both sides. You want to try and mirror where you're putting them. Doesn't have to be exact, but you want to try and mirror them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix up my bleach. This is my professional work bleach, and the best way to measure out or to make sure that you've got the right amount of product is to use a set of scales. It's the way I do it at work, it's the way hairdressers are taught to measure out. So I'm just going to measure out myself some bleach, and then I'm using the thing that I've seen a lot with people colouring their own hair at the minute, is using way too high a peroxide. I'm using 6%. Like I say, this is a professional bottle, this is professional products. They are not easily available to the public, but there are places you can get lower percent peroxides. The lower the better, because the way we were taught at college, the higher the peroxide, yes, it works quicker and you see a result quicker, but do not even think about reapplying. If you're using 30 vol or 40 vol or 9% or 12%, it's the same thing, it's just different ways of saying it. If you reapply, you will frazzle your hair, whereas 6%, I'm not saying you won't frazzle your hair, but it is nicer on the hair. It's half the strength of the strongest shop bought one. So what I'm just gonna measure out, and obviously I know the consistency I'm looking for. You don't want it super runny because it will expand. You want it sort of like a thick Greek yogurt, if that makes sense. I'm just being very aware of how much peroxide I'm putting in. So yeah, you want it like a thick Greek yogurt. Let me mix up and I will show you. This feels so weird. I haven't mixed a colour in over a month now. I have not been at work in over a month, or in nearly a month. So you want it sort of, so it's not really going to drop off the brush, because especially when you're doing something super fine, fine detail work, the runnier, the messier. So I'm just gonna take a section and then I'm gonna, whoops, use my comb, use the end of it to take a nice neat line the thing you want to work with your foils, which I haven't actually pulled off, I need to do that. You need neat, crisp lines. So I'm just going to clip this out of the way. I'm not obviously going to talk you through the whole process because this will take me a while. Like I say, don't really do it on my own hair. So when it comes to the length of your foil, you want your foil at least the length that you need to colour. So my roots are this length, so I need at least this, if not double, because then you are not forming creases in the bleach or the hair that you are colouring, and you're not going to end up with any gaps. So let's see how this goes. I'm just going to take a section. Now, don't mind if these ones are a bit thicker. It's the ones around the face that I want finer, but I am just going to try and make sure that they're even either side. Okay, so I've got my section here. Now, the way this comb works is amazing. You put it under the hair, let it fall down, and it weaves the hair for you. I use this at work, it's so quick and easy. And then what I am going to do is try and do this top-handed. The one thing I will say, I've got my big mirror in front of me. Yes, a little mirror is good for like getting close up and things like that, but a big mirror is easier, you can see your whole self, so you need to put the right way. You need the dull side of the foil to the hair, putting it to the roots and pulling it flat, making sure that all of the hair is in the foil. Like I said, doing this on someone else and doing it on yourself is a lot different. I would probably already have like 5 or 6 foils in by now. So we are in. I'm going to take the bleach and I'm going to paint down the hair. Now, not on all of them, but I am just going to bring it down some of the lighter pieces. Now, I'm not too bothered about getting too close to the roots because I don't want it to expand and get bleeding, which bleeding is where you end up with like blobs on your roots pretty much. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this up and then I fold in either side to make sure we are fully enclosed. And what I may do, because I can feel where I've got a little bit of bleach, as you can see, and I don't want that bleeding onto the underneath, I'm just going to take another piece of foil and I am going to lift this up and I am going to wrap this around close to the roots. Like I say, I wouldn't normally do this, but I don't want any bleeding. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do a couple around the back and then I'm going to do around the front, and when I get around the front I will come back and show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got the foils in, I've got hair everywhere. I'm just finishing off this front section, so I'm going to do the same as what I did on this section. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this section here that I've got hold of is going to have 2 foils in, so I'm going to take a nice slice at the front, and then I am going to what have I done with the rest of my clips? Let's grab that's there. Okay, and then I'm just going to clip that section out because we're going to do this one first. Still using this comb. If you, I've got to say, if you haven't got obviously this comb, this is a trade comb. A standard pintail will work, only a pintail, not a tail comb. It just gets a neater like weave. So I'm just gonna take my section, and these are coming onto the face, so I'm gonna grab my foil, create my fold, pull this hair down, get that right in at the root like that, and then I'm gonna take some bleach and I am going to paste it on. Now what I have been doing around the front is I've been leaving these ends out because, as you can see, these ends are very light. So what I do, I just flick them to the side because I don't want those over processing, because obviously I can't have a cut at the minute, and if I damage the ends they're going to have to stay there. So as you can see, that one is onto the face, so I'm just going to fold the sides back, and then take that section, let it drop down, and I'm going to take one more foil in this section. And what I've done, I've tried to keep it as symmetrical as possible, even though obviously natural lighting isn't symmetrical. It just gives me a pattern to work with, so I'm not just putting a load of lightener on one side. So I'm just going to get this last one in near the ear. And as you can see, I'm not going right up to the edge of the foil. I'm leaving the bleach a little bit to expand. And as well, it's not too big of a thing if it's not right at the root, because as I say, I'm putting a root stretch on. Okay, and then the last bit for this front section is this bit here. So all I did with this front section was I split it above the ear and pretty much my fringe. Oops, let's just make sure. Got a nice clean section. So as you can see there, that was my weave from my previous one. So I'm just gonna take that away and clip that up with that foil, because obviously that was a part of that foil. So we've got this, and in here it's going to go two fine foils. So I'm going to start with the front one. I'm going to take a nice fine, yeah, maybe should be a bit finer, but it's fine. Okay, and then what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to, God, this is so much easier on someone else. And so much quicker on someone else. Literally on someone else I can literally go like that, and I've sectioned it. So as you can see, I've taken more out than I'm putting in, because I don't want this one, I don't want around my face to look really blonde, because I I did have more around the front last time, so they are still quite bright. So we're just gonna lighten this one up. Again, folding up and away. Final one. Again, nice and fine. As you can see, it's like really fine. I'm just gonna, again, try and weave it. And there's literally hardly anything going into it. As I said, I don't want too much going on in this front because obviously, one, it's my fringe, I've got less space to correct, the hair's shorter, and two, I am light around the front anyway, so let's get that one on. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop it down and I'm going to show you exactly what I've done. And then the final one or two, I'm not sure how many I'm going to put in, so I'm going to let this down. So we've got one underneath on both, just the one. And then we have gone diagonal along the face. So now I'm just going to bend that one so I can see. Make sure this is out of the way. So as you can see, I've got a clip here with a little section of hair. I need to put some in here, which is probably going to be one of the hardest because it's right at the back of my head. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring them forward over the top so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go back to this comb. I'm going to take a straight line. I'm going to let that fall forward. I'm going to clip this back together. And then out of this section, I'm going to take another straight line across. Move that out of the way so that I can actually see what I'm doing. And as you can see, I've got a section here. I'm going to go straight in, back, get my clean section. This is so much easier when I've got my nails on. Let's redo that. That was not clean at all. Back. That's better. And then move that out of the way as well so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take a foil and pray for the best. Now I'm going to do the same as what I've been doing on the rest of them. Put this in at the root, bring it forward, paste on, so then my crown will look lightened as well. And then flick the ends out. I'm going to try and, yep, line up. Fold in. And I'm just going to do one more exactly the same, but more on this side so that when they fall it'll look more natural, because obviously I've got some coming over to this side. And then I'm going to leave them to process for about 30 minutes and then I'll check them. So yeah, I'm going to sit like this for half an hour. Okay, so I've now processed for half an hour. I'm actually really cold. I wanted to put my hoodie on, but obviously can't. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go, because I'm not going to be able to see these that well, I'm going to go for the ones closest to my face that I put in last. So that's the ones in the fringe. And as you can see, they are looking plenty lightened for what I am looking for. So now I'm going to remove my foils, shampoo my hair twice and use a small amount of conditioner, just enough so that I can brush my hair through, because I'm going to colour and tone my hair next. Okay, so my hair is now washed. I don't know if you can just see across the parting, there are some lighter bits poking through. So as you can see, I have brushed my hair and I have sectioned it. I've sectioned ear to my parting, same on that side, and then straight down the middle in the back. So I've got 4 sections, 4 quarters. Now I'm gonna put my root colour on, and if I'm being honest, I thought I had more root colour than this. So we're gonna see how this goes. So the colours that I use Wella Colour Touch, which is a professional colour, and I mix, seems a lot, but I mix these 3 colours together. So 597 and 797, which are the same tones, just different lightnesses, and then a little bit of base, because I don't think these 2 on their own are going to be enough today. So the reason I pick the colour that I use is it is a pearl ash brunette. So the pearl ash stops me from getting a hot root, which is when you've coloured your roots, you look like you've got a root, or your roots are glowing and lighter. So the ash tone in it tones down the brightness, the warmth, and then the brunette in it is sort of like a universal colour, universal tone should I say, not colour, it's a tone, and brunette suits pretty much every skin tone, because brunette encompasses ash, warm, pearl, gold, everything. So that is why I use this tone. Hello you're back again. Back again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply this to damp hair, because this is a demi-permanent colour, quasi-permanent, however you want to call it. It has a lower peroxide, so it just deposits the colour, it doesn't lighten anymore, so it stops, or it reduces the risk of getting a hot root, because hot root happens when, 1, your head is hot, that's why it's called hot root, and 2, you put on a root that is too light and it develops too quickly compared to the rest of your hair. So I'm going to use a quasi, as I said. I'm going to mix it together, again using my scales, my brush and my bowl, and this is double the peroxide to the formula, to the mixture. So say I've got 20 mils of colour, it would be 40 mils of peroxide. So I'm going to mix that up, and how I'm going to start is not the way that I would do it if I was doing it on a client, by the way, but I do it this way because it's easier visually for myself. So I'm going to start by putting it along the parting and going down. So section, so say section, paste it on, another section, paste it on, and I'm going to do the 2 front sections first, make sure I get round my hairline, because I am quite fair and I've got a lot of baby hair, as you can see, around my hairline, so I need to make sure I get those and my parting, and then I will go on to the back sections. This is why I've section them to make sure I get all of the like all of the roots on. And then what I will do, I'm going to be wearing gloves, is I will like blend down with the excess colour, and that stops you from getting a harsh line where your highlights are. I'll then leave that to develop for 5 minutes, and while that colour is still on, I will put my toner on, which I haven't got out. Let me grab it. Again, bit of a mixture of everything, because the wholesalers aren't open. I am struggling for colours as much as the rest of you are. So I'm going to be using part quasi and part permanent, but mixing it with a quasi developer, so a lower peroxide, because I don't want it to lift anymore. But the thing that this does, mixing a quasi permanent and a permanent colour together formula wise, is the molecules in this is where it gets technical. The molecules in colours are different. So a semi-permanent, say they're round, a semi-permanent will be this round, this big. A quasi-permanent is this big, and a permanent is this big. So permanent packs more colour in. So that is why I like to mix. And go in with a pearl ash toner, pure ash, no warmth on the ends, because I have a lot of warmth in my own natural hair. I will mix that up and let it develop for 15 minutes, and then rinse it all off together, rinsing the ends first and then the roots, and then the transformation should be done. So I'm going to go paint the rest, and I will see you when that is all developed. Okay, so under here it has all been done, been rinsed, been processed, rinsed, conditioned, everything. I'm actually not going to show you just yet. What I'm going to do, I'm going to blow dry style it, probably put some makeup on, because you always feel a bit better with a bit of makeup on and your hair done. Change my top because I got a little toner on it. Top tip, if you get colour on your clothes, I'm not saying this will work every time, but if you get colour on your clothes, if you can, straight away saturate it in hairspray and then put it straight in the wash. That is just a tip of what we do at work. No idea why it works or how it works, but yeah, saturate it in hairspray and then straight in the wash machine. So like I say, need to get this off, get it sprayed, get it in the washer, sort of snappy as soon as, and I'm going to go style my hair and see exactly what I've done. So I've finished, I've styled, I've put a full face of makeup on, which honestly I cannot remember the last time I put a full face of makeup on. And I've moved over to the window. This is how I always show my clients their hair. Natural daylight is the best. How your hair, or when your hair looks its best, is in natural daylight. It's the most natural your hair looks, closest to obviously what it actually is. I have styled it. I actually filmed how I styled it and some top tips for styling when you have freshly bleached and coloured hair. I also filmed this makeup look, which I actually really enjoyed. I haven't, like I say, haven't put a full face of makeup on in a long time. But I know the reason you're all here is to see how I am looking. So I have no McDonald's sign, as Chris tells me. My baby hairs have all been coloured in. I have some blonde highlights back around my face again. I am looking brighter. I'm looking nice and toned. The colour overall looks completely different from when I started. If I've got a picture of me with my hair down, I'll put it here. Don't know if I have or not, so I may just be leaning to the side for no reason, but you can see how much of a difference a toner makes. Even if I had just put my roots on and toned my hair, it made a huge difference, but obviously I wouldn't have got this lightness that I've got round the top, and I'm actually quite impressed with myself. Like I say, the most I've ever done at home myself is put a full head colour on my roots on or toned it myself. I've never done foils on myself, so I'm quite happy with how it turned out. Like I said, this isn't a go out and do it yourself, you can all do it. I do have some knowledge behind me on my colours I need to choose, the peroxides I need to choose, and when you do go to a hairdresser's, honestly, we are not being awkward when we ask you for your hair history. We don't want you to lie to us. We want the honest truth, because this would not be possible if you came in and went, no, never coloured it before, or I've only coloured it once 6 months ago, and then we find out that you've got black, red, purple, any colour under the sun. And the reason we are asking isn't because we're going to go, oh, you shouldn't have done that, oh, that was the worst idea ever. It's because we want to give you the best outcome and not fry your hair. Because if you tell us you've got no colour on, there's no build up whatsoever, we will think, great, we can go with the full head of highlights you want, the full balayage you want, and get you to a colour that is close to what you are looking for. But if you have got bright red underneath that dark brown colour, you will look orange when it's bleached, and then we may not possibly be able to re-bleach it. We may have to tone you down to a lighter brown, which obviously isn't what you want, and it's not what we want, because we aim to please. So like I say, this video isn't, yes, everyone can do it and you can do it, but if you are going to do it, I just wanted to share some tips with you on like where to start and techniques and things like that, and if you are going to do it at home, how to do it at home safely. One, the main, and I cannot stress this more, is skin test. And I know I haven't said it at all through this video, but I know I have skin tested myself with those colours, and it's the same colours that I use every single time. But skin test, you don't ever want to see a bad skin reaction, or a bad reaction to a colour. And yes, just because you've used a light brown in the same brand doesn't mean that if you are going to put a hot pink or a bright red, whatever shades that they do, because the formulas are different, especially for red pigmented colours. Red pigmented colours have more or different formulas. They have more pigment in them because they need it for the red, and that is completely different to a mousy brown, as everyone tells us that they are when they come in. So honestly, please, if you've made it this far, before you do anything that I have shared with you, skin test, and for 48 hours before, which seems like a lot. Yes, most people that get a reaction within the first 10 minutes of it being on their scalp, but people can come up with reactions 48 hours before. That is why we leave it 48 hours. We're not doing this to spite you, to say, no, you can wait. We honestly are doing this to help. So yeah, if you're going to follow any of the tips in this video, please skin test. But finally finished my hair. I hope you've made it this far, because as I said, The main tip is at the end, which maybe I should have put that at the beginning, but we never know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next video. If you are new, please hit subscribe, it does help, and I'll see you next time. Bye!